Okay, we have a question online from Olivia of Reuters. Olivia.
Thank you very much for this briefing. I just had a question that I thought was really interesting. What you were saying about how this perfect storm is growing and aid is becoming more unpredictable. But you're also saying actually this kind of delay of imposing reciprocal tariffs is still actually causing as much kind of harm and instability. Perhaps you could just explain in some detail on why even this the delay is still causing problems for global trade.
Thanks so much. Essentially, maybe we can just bring it down to a business. If a business is not clear on what costs they're going to be required to pay for exporting or for bringing in certain goods into a particular market, they cannot plan, they cannot decide on who will invest. Let's take Lesotho. There are two companies who are the major carriers for the U.S. exports of textiles and apparel. They have withheld their investment for the time being. There's no commitment to moving forward. There therefore is no stability in the industry or for employment. In other words, what it has created is a lack of predictability for businesses. And one thing businesses need more than anything else is to know. If they do not know, if they cannot clearly state what their export markets are going to be, what their costs will be, how long or if those costs will be rescinded in the next week or two, or if they will be delayed for another 3 months, there's absolutely no way that a business can plan. And so as a result, there is this, and let's multiply this by a millionfold. Let's look at all the major businesses across the world who, at this point, expecting a certain decision by tomorrow, are now shifting again to August 1st, which is 3 weeks from now. Some countries have already gotten their letters. The letters have outlined several different levels of tariffs, which it's not clear whether they're open to negotiation or not between now and August 1st, or if it's the final deal. So in other words, there is no clear ground. The sand keeps shifting. And if the sand keeps shifting, there's no way that you can make firm decisions for your business. So in essence, that's it. That's the crucial challenge.
Thank you very much. Yes, Nina Larson of AFP.
Yeah, thanks for this briefing. I was wondering, you spoke to us in April, I think, and I'm wondering what's changed since then in your estimation of the situation, if you're more or less pessimistic, and if you see any signs that developing countries are facing the challenge, are following your advice, or yeah, thanks.
It's hard to say. Things have changed. They may not have changed in terms of raw data, because it's a little soon to say, but I think attitudinally there have been shifts, very clear shifts on the part of several governments on issues of how are we going to engage more in the regional integration space, how are we going to find new markets. The cross-Atlantic trips that Canada has been taking are not by accident. The UK love fest now with EU is also not something that should be taken for granted. I think that there's a kind of recalibration of relationships taking place across the world, and I think this is being driven to a great extent by the need to realign and reassess trade relationships. But in addition to which, I also think that what has changed is the recognition by even countries, especially in Africa, that they need to really enhance and turbocharge the regional integration under the AFCFTA, because the level of vulnerability that they face, particularly with the ending of AGOA, which has driven most of their trade with the United States for over 20 years, seems to be coming to an end. And if it does come to an end and the current tariffs as they stand remain, it will be devastating for their economies. So that's what has changed. In terms of pessimism, I'm an eternal optimist because I'm from an island, and